Welcome to a captivating journey through history, geography, and scriptural connections. I'm excited to share the discoveries and insights I've gathered, and I invite you to explore and verify them for yourself. While examining ancient maps and diving into various podcasts and channels, I came across some fascinating place names that piqued my interest. Together, let's uncover the potential links between these locations and the scriptural world. As we explore the possible scriptural Holy Land, it's essential to consider the biblical context of destruction and desolation. The prophecies in Jeremiah 9 verse 11 and Luke 19 verses 43 to 44 foretold the devastation of Jerusalem and Judah, including all surrounding cities due to the sins of the Israelites. These prophecies were fulfilled in the Babylonian exile, 586 BCE, and the Roman destruction, 70 CE. The consequences of sin had far-reaching effects on the land and its people. Keeping this historical and scriptural context in mind will provide valuable insight as we study ancient Babylon. Another important factor to consider is the impact of the scramble for Africa. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European colonial powers divided and occupied nearly the entire African continent. As they established control, they often renamed towns, regions, and landmarks, replacing indigenous names with European ones. This widespread renaming wasn't just a matter of convenience. It played a significant role in erasing local histories, identities, and cultural heritage. As a result, many original place names, and the stories and meanings behind them, were lost or forgotten. This colonial legacy has made it more difficult to trace the historical and biblical significance of certain locations, as the names we see on modern maps may not reflect their ancient or pre-colonial identities. Today, let's journey through time and learn about the ancient Babylon location. The Euphrates River runs directly adjacent to the ancient city. It was crucial for irrigation, transportation, and trade. Babylon was built on both sides of the Euphrates, with bridges and canals connecting the city. Note that there was a lot of name changing after the scramble for Africa. Visit Jerusalem's Script YouTube channel for more information on cover-up names for villages, towns, cities, and rivers in Namibia. According to the research I made, which I urge you to also verify, the Amorites, who were the descendants of Canaan, lived in Babylon. Remember, all Hebrews were what we refer to as black people today. According to the biblical account in Genesis, after the global flood, the earth was repopulated by the descendants of Noah and his family, who were the only survivors of the flood. In this video, remember, the Amorites are the descendants of Canaan, the son of Ham. Amos 2 verse 9. Yet it was I who destroyed the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars and who was as strong as the oaks. I destroyed his fruit above and his roots beneath. This verse is part of a prophetic message from Amos, where God recounts his past acts of deliverance for Israel. The Amorites were tall and strong warriors. They were mighty and formidable, yet God defeated them to give Israel victory. This verse emphasizes God's sovereignty and faithfulness in protecting his people, even against powerful enemies. Genesis 14 verse 13. Then one who had escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew, who was living by the oaks of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and of Aner. These were allies of Abram. This verse is part of the story where Abram, later Abraham, learns that his nephew Lot has been taken captive during a regional conflict involving several kings. Mamre the Amorite, along with his brothers Eshcol and Aner, are described as Abram's allies. This shows that Abram had formed strategic relationships with local Canaanite leaders, including Amorites. The Oaks of Mamre refers to a location near Hebron where Abram had settled. In other words, Mamre was an Amorite who lived in the region of Hebron and formed an alliance with Abraham. He was the brother of Eshcol and Aner, who were also allies of Abraham. Mamre owned a grove of trees, often referred to as the Oaks of Mamre, where Abraham pitched his tent and built an altar to the Lord. Mamre was the name of a person and a geographical location where Abraham had significant encounters with God, including the promise of Isaac's birth. The location is often associated with themes of faith, covenant, and hospitality, particularly through Abraham's welcoming of the 3 visitors who foretold Isaac's birth. Mamre is also mentioned as the location near the cave of Machpelah, where Abraham buried Sarah.
Hebron. This is Hebron. Hebron is the location of Mamre. Mamre was a small village in Hebron. Hebron. It is a big hill city located in Judea, in the present-day Kurdish region of Namibia. Hebron is approximately 8 miles northwest of Jerusalem. Hebron is the burial site of the patriarchs. Abraham, he purchased the cave of Machpelah. Abraham purchased this cave as a burial place for his wife Sarah. The cave became a family cave, a family sepulchre, where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, with their wives, Sarah, Rebekah, and Leah, they all were buried in the cave in Hebron.
Deuteronomy 1 verse 4, after he had defeated Sihon the king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon, and Og the king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth and in Edrei. This verse is part of the introduction to Moses' speech to the Israelites as they prepare to enter the Promised Land. It refers to past victories that God gave them. Sihon, king of the Amorites, ruled from Heshbon. Og, king of Bashan, ruled from Ashtaroth and Edrei. These victories were significant because both kings ruled over strong, fortified territories east of the Jordan River. Joshua 10 verses 1 to 5. After Gibeon made peace with Israel, Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, feared the growing power of Israel. He formed an alliance with 4 other Amorite kings from Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon to attack Gibeon. Verses 6 to 11. The Gibeonites called on Joshua for help. Joshua marched overnight from Gilgal and surprised the Amorite coalition. God caused panic among the enemy, and Israel defeated them. As the Amorites fled, God sent large hailstones, killing more than the sword. Verses 12 to 15. Joshua prayed for the sun to stand still over Gibeon and the moon over the valley of Ajalon. God answered, and daylight was miraculously extended so Israel could finish the battle. This is described as a unique day when God listened to a man in such a dramatic way. Verses 16 to 27. The 5 kings hid in a cave at Makkedah. Joshua had the cave sealed, then later executed the kings and hung their bodies on trees before burying them. Verses 28 to 43. Joshua led Israel in a series of victories over southern cities: Makkedah, Libnah, Lachish, Eglon, Hebron, and Debir. The chapter ends with Israel conquering the entire southern region as God had commanded. Stay connected for more in-depth explorations of the biblical Holy Land. Subscribe and like this channel to receive updates on future studies, insights, and analyses. Join the journey to uncover the rich history, prophecies, and significance of this sacred region. Thank you to Jerusalem Script channel for providing well-researched insights. For more in-depth explorations of the Holy Land's true location, check out Jerusalem Script YouTube channel.
Thanks for watching. May the truth set you free and bring you closer to God, Elohim. Until next time, stay enlightened.